I started watching lesbian porn, and now it's the only thing that turns me on. I'm straight, I think. But does this mean I'm secretly into women? Or is it just a porn thing?
This is a really, really good question. So
I mean, I want to see her face.
So this is very common in women. So we know that a lot of straight women like lesbian porn. And the most common reason is because in lesbian porn, they are treated, caressed. The foreplay is female-centric. And most straight porn is not made for women. It is made for men, right? It's made for men. So the scenes are usually from the male's point of view. It's the kind of interactions that most men would want to see. And lesbian porn tends to be a little softer. It tends to be a little bit, there's more caressing, there's more intimacy. That being said, it may mean she's either bisexual or gay.
I think she's curious about the sexuality of a woman orgasm, meaning like a woman, lesbian sex, in porn, most of them is fake. But the idea is like they can come. You know what I mean? They want to come.
Oh, they seeing that, so they
see
wanna,
another woman pleasing.
So they watching it for research.
So
they
they see a woman like making you come, orgasm, and they're like, okay, this is excitement.
Right.
I'm not a lesbian, I don't like women, but I like the feeling of someone making me come. So I feel like that's a little confusion of her mind if you don't like women. But other than that, like you said, it's like not all porn. Lesbian sex is nice, by the way, but...
And that's, I mean...
True. No, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like, and maybe I'm weird and maybe you can help me with this, but even when it comes to porn, I'm really not into like I don't want to see no man in a porn.
Like POV.
But, and to that, not even like girl on girl is cool, but to me, the hottest type of porn is that first person interaction,
POV?
just where it's just a woman doing her thing.
This is such a good point because, in the 50s when people had pinups and you would use your fantasy and it's like this first person, and even now today, you have to remember that your brain is always creating these associations. Your brain is an association machine. And most porn, if you're a straight guy watching porn, which is the most common person watching porn, it's a man having sex with a woman. You're training your brain to be turned on by watching other people have sex, right? So there's actually something
like a voyeuristic
thing. So it's actually a little bit healthier if you want to use porn to enhance your relationship to actually look at first-person porn without anybody else, right? So maybe that's a photo, maybe that's, a video of just...
And now you can interact with them. And Doc, because this is, even as we know, in the world that we're in, that's a very fine line, especially when it's in a male-dominated society, because... you can get in real trouble in that sense of like forcing or convincing someone to do anything. So what is the safest way to be in a relationship and introduce somebody and enjoy it and not create
it needs to be consensual. It needs to be something that's safe. It needs to be two partners. I think we have the most famous sex trial that's hit America in probably a decade or maybe ever is on one side of the spectrum. I think on the other there are a lot of scenarios. Sometimes I will even recommend a sex surrogate. So for people with sexual issues, there are people who will actually have sex with you, and it's to actually help you with sexual issues. And
wait, hold on.
It's like a dick.
So you can get a substitute dick?
Yeah. Well, it's usually for people who have some type of issue, right? So if there is maybe a physical disability or a mental illness or something, or even survivors of trauma, like they don't want to be, they're so scared to be touched, right? And sometimes even I'll assign them, I'll say, why don't you go to a massage therapist, start with a female, if a woman is abused by a man, start with a female. Once you feel okay, maybe work your way to a male. And there are even sex surrogates who can really work with people who have these really acute sexual issues. And it almost seems like some of the things that you do when you're working with people who are really lonely, who have an issue, you're sort of on that side of the equation. But you just have to be careful that you're not going to the other, because it can get really traumatic, really dangerous. And from this trial, very illegal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like we learning a lot tonight, right? They putting us up on game.